There we go. Well, thanks for joining today. So today is Thursday. We are in nine of 10 or 15. And today is all about attitude. So today, it won't be too long because, the attitude is one of the most important things, but you've heard a lot of these thoughts before, but I want to kind of give you a few extra things to think about your attitude, your beliefs in yourself, in the industry, in the market, and what all the things that come along with that. Because I'm not talking about energy all the time. Attitude could be energy, could be outgoing, ingoing, because a lot of times I know we all have it. We have those days where we have to show that we have that positive attitude and that great attitude, but sometimes inside it just was a tough day. It was a tough day. And I get those days sometimes, not today though, good day today. So far, so good. But every once in a while, those days, everything doesn't go perfect for all of us. But if you show that to your clients and you're prospecting and the things like and the people that you're communicating with, that they want to deal with people with good attitudes. So you got to think about that. That's the number one thing to think about is what you're projecting, because people don't want to deal, they want to be with someone that's going to bring them up, that they're going to see the positive sides of things, that want to help them and be legitimately and emotionally attached like they are to the things that they are. Like example, the buyers and sellers want to make sure that your attitude, your positive attitude, that you have a positive attitude towards your relationship, towards the transaction, towards the process, towards the industry, towards the other agent, towards the other side, if it's a buyer, to the seller, to the loan officer. Now, before I dig deep into this, is that one thing, if you're new to the business or newer to the business, there's going to be times where personalities don't mix. Things don't go as smooth as they should. Things they start off good and they don't. But I always think of this, and I know sometimes it doesn't come off right. Sometimes I think of this is that when you're in desperate need of help, wherever it is, it's you need someone's help. Say you're scared for something and you need the police to help you feel secure. You want them to be positive about the situation that's going to happen, that they can help you. But sorry, you're in the situation. I know you're here, but we're going to make sure you're safe and get out of it. Example, firemen, paramedics, your doctor, when you have those professional, like, I don't want my doctor to have a poor attitude towards my health. I want them to be, hey, we're going to fix this problem, or we're going to make sure you're on the right path, or I have a solution to what's happening to you. I hope that's kind of making sense, because in real estate, sometimes I see agents with a poor attitude. They take on the attitude of their client. Sometimes they want to mimic their attitude, because sometimes they're going to be stressed. They're going to have the attitude of how's this going to go smoothly, or they're going to have the attitude that they're getting taken advantage of by the other side. You, as the professional and the person that's there to help them through the processes, have to have that good positive attitude, that you are going to hold their hand through the process and be their trusted advisor to keep them safe and to keep them on track and help them. So does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you, is that these are things to think about. And that's the kind of the core of what I'm trying to get through with you today. But there's some points and things to think about attitude. There's kind of like three things to start thinking about your attitude. One is about your philosophy of the business, about life. I'm going to go over that. 2 is just your attitude in general about like your emotions, what's affecting your attitude and the things that you're inputting and listening to and what you're projecting. And then 3 is just your physical energy and just your energy. It's hard to have a great attitude if physically you're tired. I mean, you don't have to be a triathlete, but being just the simplest thing is being rested. How when you work those late hours. I see it in agents. I talk to them first thing in the morning. Sometimes I get a text from someone at like 12, 1 in the morning and just say, call me as soon as you can, first thing in the morning. And I'm up early. Sometimes I call them, I go, they probably only got like 3 hours sleep because they were working on paperwork and things. And it's just the attitude, no matter just physically how you are. And again, if you're the highs and lows of the day. So those are the kind of things I'm going to dig into a little bit today, just give you things to think about and to help your attitude. So the philosophy of having in your attitude is the grounds and concept of expressed in fundamental beliefs. So your philosophy are the analysis of the grounds and concepts expressed in your fundamental beliefs. So is the analysis of what you basically believe in. What are the grounds of what you believe in? What's your philosophy? Example in real estate. Some people's philosophies, and I'll say, and a good philosophy of real estate transactions, that it's going to honestly be, and I'm saying this honestly from my heart, is that when I go into helping agents and in the transactions with a buyer and seller, I want a win-win that when they get at the end of the transaction, both sides feel they had a great experience, everything went smoothly, and they got a fair deal. Fair deal in price, is treated fairly by all parties, and it went smoothly. And that's my philosophy. My philosophy is buying a house, selling a house. It can be a win-win. It could be a beautiful transaction that goes smoothly, and everybody is getting, maybe a little compromise here or there. Of course, can't get everything you want. I mean, but it's fair. You're doing something that's fair. You might not get exactly what you want, it might not get the exact price you want, the exact terms you want, but it's a fair deal and everybody's happy. But some people think it's a win, it's a win or lose. That's one of the things that we see. Some people want to feel like they're winning. And sometimes that affects the attitude of the people involved. I see it almost several times a week when we have clients that want to win. They don't care what is happening, but they want to feel like they win. And I do a lot of explaining to our agents, keep the positive attitude, how to represent their client and help them win to them, or make them at least feel like they're winning, and do the right things to help guide them through the transaction. But also it's hard sometimes to keep that positive attitude with your client when the other side is just beating you down sometimes, because their philosophy is just win, get this at all costs, try to beat down the other side. That happens a lot nowadays, just with people just wanting to just feel like they've got either a buyer said they got the best deal, or a seller says they got the highest price and the best terms, and they're just doing things to make them feel like they won something. So that's an example of where you have to keep the right attitude. Now, the positive attitude, keep people on track, and that's an example of, in my head, in my opinion, what's a different philosophy. What's your philosophy? So what's your philosophy? I'll stick with just real estate, not all of life and your attitude towards life, but what's your philosophy in your job as realtors? Are you having the philosophy that you are a good influence in a good part of being involved in the transaction? So you have to really believe that. So, and that's one of the things of your philosophy is your beliefs. The 3 kind of areas to that is, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in the industry? And do you believe in the future? So let me go into a little bit more detail. Do you believe in yourself? And I was just touching on that a little bit. Do you believe and have the attitude that you are the right person for the job? Do you believe in yourself that you are really here to help these buyers and or sellers with the transaction, and believe in yourself that you're the right person to make it go as smoothly as it possibly can, and be that trusted advisor? You have to believe in yourself before anybody else could believe in you, or you got to be like the best actor or actress out there, because if they'll smell it, it's kind of like, you think dogs smell fear. If you're fear, they can pick up on that. Your clients or future clients and your prospects, if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to be able to get them to believe in you. And some of the things you got to think about with yourself is, do you belong in this industry? And I'm saying this, another honest comment, that everybody has an ability to belong in this industry. They can do it, just will they do it? And do you have the right attitude for this business? Because I see agents that shouldn't be in this business, but it's not because they can't do it, or they're not. I just feel that they just don't have the right attitude. They don't believe in themselves. They don't have the right philosophy for what needs to be done to make this a good experience for everybody and a win-win for everybody. When just a step back, if you have a buyer that wants to buy, a seller that wants to sell, a buyer's agent that wants to sell and make commission, a seller's agent that wants to sell and make commission. I got a loan officer that wants things to go smoothly so they could get paid, and a title company that wants things to go smoothly and paid. You've got all of these people that are working towards the same goal and trying to get everybody, dealing with different personalities. But when one person in that mix has a very poor attitude or doesn't have the right philosophies or the right beliefs system, sometimes can bring down the whole and bring down the transaction. But I've seen this happen. I know I've done it many of times, and over 30 years, I've jumped in and have to pull everybody up. That's your job. Your job is to be like that motivational speaker. To, when needed, you're here to pull everything up. Like, hey, listen, everybody, we could get this done. Let's just take, a step back. Whatever you need to do, be that motivational speaker. Like, we're all on the same page. We have the same goal. Well, same page in the aspect that we have the same goal. We want this to close. Where do we need to meet in the middle? Where do we need to negotiate? Where do we need to do this or that? And then sometimes, and that's part of my job as a broker and owner, is to get in the middle sometimes and help out, be that new person jumping into the mix and be that calm in the storm. I love doing that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I know in my heart that I believe in myself and what I can do. And sometimes it doesn't work. Kind of, it's hard to even say. It's kind of like, I was always wonder about some people being doctors. Sometimes I can't, how they go through and not being able to help people. They know they're there and they know they have the belief in themselves and their abilities and the things that they do, but sometimes it just can't help people. I feel that way too sometimes, but I know I did my best, and I know I have the belief and the philosophy I'm going to try my best. So you have to have that too, and anybody could get that. It's just how you wire your brain. Next is, what do you believe in the industry? What do you believe? Do you believe that you're in this industry and that what realtors do to help people, what we do as an industry to help not just buyers and sellers, our economy? There's so much, and I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but it's a very high percentage. But our economy of our country is a huge part of it, and a huge percentage of our economy is connected to housing. It's connected to housing, how people buying or selling houses. Imagine, I think the statistic was several years ago, when someone buys a new house, on average, it brings in $40,000 average to that community. $40,000 into that community, commissions to agents, to buying things, to landscaping, fixing up the house, restaurants, services. People go move to a new area, then they're using the services of the area, whatever different services, salons and stores and things, more tax dollars to the city, things like that. So our jobs as realtors, our industry is very crucial to our economy in general. So I tell agents this, I remind them sometimes, I have to remind them that our jobs in our industry is crucial. We're not, I will tell you this, no matter how many things that anybody would say, or any article you read, or things that people say trying to cut realtors out of real estate, I never see it happening. I honestly don't. You know why? Is because 95% of people in the last 30 years, in all different kind of markets, all different kind of technology, all different kinds of interest rates, have 95% of people have used a realtor. This is not like, sometimes I have agents say, hey, look at this, Amazon, really killed the people buying things in stores. Uber killed the taxi industry, and Netflix and things, killed this. We don't have anybody that is gunning for our jobs, other than the online people but we have it. People could sell their house themselves. That's always been the case. They could sell that. They don't need us. If they don't want to, they could choose not to use us. We're not required to be used. Any seller could sell their house themselves. Any buyer could go up to a seller and say, buy your house. Or any buyer could go say, I'm not going to use a buyer's agent. I'm going to go call that listing agent myself. But they don't. They never have. And I don't think they ever will. The reason why, because I have 30 years of experience with it, and we've been through everything. We've been through all the different things. So the whole point of explaining that is that you should have the firm belief deep down in your being when you're talking to anybody, is that you need me. You need me. Kind of like, I felt like that scene in A Few Good Men, like, when he said, you need me on that wall. You want me on that wall. Probably a bad comparison there. But yes, that's how you should feel when you are talking with someone, and a buyer or seller. You need me. That's the confidence. That's the attitude. That, not like in A Few Good Men in a bad way, but in a good way, that you need me to help you. You can't do this alone. I'm going to hold your hand through the process. And when you have that feeling, I think that feeling is going to come through in an attitude like, I'm here. I could do it. I'm going to help you. You need me. I need you. We're going to get through this, and I'm going to make sure I help you. So that you have to have that belief in the industry that what you do matters. And hopefully for what I said, it matters. And that's, please, if anything, if you just spread the word, because the average person sometimes doesn't know that. Well, I know that 95% of people use an agent. So first thing I tell any agent that says, oh, I got a for sale by owner, this person, I go, well, first thing I would tell them is that, why would you want to sell your house when 95% of people don't do it themselves? Why do you think 95% of people use an agent? There's nothing else in the world 95% of people agree on. I bet 95% of people don't even believe in doctors. Do you believe? I want to look up that statistic of how many people don't believe in doctors. They want to just cure things themselves. I bet there's more people that you believe in realtors to sell their house than people believe in doctors. That's how big of an influence we have. But those people that think they don't believe in us and they think that they could do it themselves. Of course, they make, just like those people that don't believe in doctors, they just think that's, they'll try to feel their way around it and justify their thoughts. But it's always about money. It's always about money. And then the future. So kind of I tagged a little bit about that, is that you have to believe in the future of yourself, of what you're going to accomplish, believe and have the great attitude that the industry is going to be there. Don't worry. I talk to agents every day. The interest rates, the market's shifting and the market's changing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I've been saying this, and I've said this in a few videos prior to this. I think Mike Ferrante and I did one this week, and I said it last week too, is that if the market comes down 20%, it doesn't affect you that much. If you sell 20 houses a year, what's 20%? 10%'s 2, 20%'s 4. So you sell 16 houses this year. If you did the exact same amount of work, then 20. Are you still in business? Yes, you're still in business. You're still there. 20% less money is not going to hurt you. But I know this, I tell any agent, with just a little bit of extra effort, a little bit of extra work, a little bit of extra prospecting, you can regain the market coming down. Imagine the market came down 20%. You could easily pick up 20% more business by just doing a little bit more prospecting, a little bit more, 20% more calls, 20% more pop buys, 20% more door knocking. You can make that up. So there's always the opportunity there. Now about your attitude and just things that help your attitude. So basically the definition of your attitude is really a mental position, feeling, or emotion towards a fact or state. So basically your attitude is your mental position, or feeling or emotion towards a fact or state. So basically that is what is your view? What are you projecting, and what are you reacting to? What's you reacting to your day? What's your attitude towards and your emotion towards what's happening to you right now? So what can affect that attitude is your mental diet. So my notes here, I wrote mental diet. What's your diet? So hopefully, basically from what I just said about what your belief in yourself, belief in the industry, belief that you can do it, and that you're a positive influence on real estate in general and every buyer and seller you have. But now, what's your mental diet outside of that? Because you need that first, what I just said. But what are you reading? And that's why some of my mental diet of my agents right now is they're watching the news. They're saying, oh my God, interest rates are going up, less buyers, less sellers, less things happening. And they're believing that should affect them in their business. And it shouldn't. It shouldn't affect what you do. You should be doing the same thing. If you even more, work a little bit harder, picking up more buyers, picking up more sellers. They're there. They're out there. So what's your mental diet? Were you listening to the news? Are you reading articles? Usually the news and the articles are not positive things, because unfortunately, a lot of people, most people's mental diet is what's bad that's happening, not what's good that's happening. So and even when the good articles there, I remember, just over the last several years, the good articles of the market is going crazy. It's busy. They're really saying how good the market is, but it was the negative side to it. It's like, 30 offers on a house, so housing prices are going up. So it's positive for sellers, but bad for buyers. They're throwing some negative in there too. So always watch what your mental diet is, and then take control of your own mind. Just take control of it, because I know we're we can't control everything that we hear because we, as God didn't give us a way to close our ears. We could hear things, we see things. We're constant influx of input of data, and a lot of it's negative. But so you've got to make sure that you have control as much as you can, because it will affect your attitude, will protect, which will affect your business. You don't want to do business with people that have a poor attitude and a poor, are not positive. I know, like I said just earlier, just you could be the best actor in the world, but you got to do your best to have the best positive attitude. And now your physical, I know I just mentioned earlier about just being tired. I try to do my best to get as much sleep as I can each night. I know my mind's just like you. I know agents, what happens, any agent that has at least one transaction going on, we are going to sleep thinking about that transaction every night, or how many other nights. Or if you have several transactions, do you know what goes through your mind every night as you're going through your whole day? And you're going over and over and over. Okay, I made that call, I did this call. Now, not to go into detail of why you should be having a to-do list and checking things off so you don't have to do this, but a lot of people, and still a lot of agents, are trying to remember everything that they have to accomplish for the day, or in between stuff. Like example, I'll get text messages and calls while I'm in the middle of a meeting and things. I'll text people back, call you later, but I actually try to do my best to put it in my calendar so I don't forget, because sometimes another call comes in, something else comes in. So the point I'm getting at, some agents at the end of the night, happens to everybody, you're sitting there, you're going through your head, going through your whole day. I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. And then before you're right about to fall asleep, you're like, oh my God, I forgot to call this person and schedule this for tomorrow. Or, oh my God, I forgot to show up at an inspection today. It was supposed to be an inspection day for this. They moved it from Friday to Thursday, and I totally forgot to change it in my calendar and didn't check my voicemail at the end because it was a later inspection. Who knows? When you get busy in real estate, you could get busy with one transaction. You could get busy with 10 active pending transactions. You're going to go to sleep every night thinking about what you have to do tomorrow, making sure you made all your calls today, deciding what you have to do. But please do your best. And I wouldn't say, well, let me just say, right now in my business world, in my business life, I've done the best job I ever have in writing things down, putting it in my calendar, so I don't go to sleep every night going, okay, I got to get up at 8, I got to make this call at 8:30, I got to go this, oh, I can't remember, I got to remember this, and then I'm brushing my teeth the next morning, going over my calendar again, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do that. I used to do that all the time. I think it got to the point where there's no way I could remember everything I get to do, and that was a good thing. So no matter how many transactions you're working on, for your mental attitude, your mental sanity, write these things down, put them in your calendar, put them in your schedule, put them in a to-do list, write them down so you can write it and forget it until it's ready to be done. Does that make sense? And to all of my agents out there, please, and I say this all the time, and I have a call right after this with an agent that to help them out with a transaction we've been working on and having issues with over the last month. But I have to tell him every time, okay, refresh my memory again. And sometimes he's like, oh, wait, we went over this last week. I go, I know, but I talked about 50 other people and I can't remember every single detail of every single transaction because I talk to you and I move on to the next person I have to help, and I don't dwell on what I just did. The agent, you will always dwell on that transaction from the day you started to the day it ends. I have to not dwell on it, because if I'm dwelling on 50 transactions every month, I'm not going to have the mental capacity to have the attitude and to free my mind to deal with things that are happening now. Does that make sense? So same with you, with your mind, free your mind of the worry of just making the next phone call, when the next appointment is, so you can keep that positive attitude and that clean mind, so you're 100% focused on what you're doing at that second. Next, expressing gratitude. Expressing gratitude to the industry, to the opportunity, to everything. So I wanted, this is kind of a step back because I was going into my notes on physical energy, but I wanted to go, I knew I missed one thing there, which is gratitude, and opportunity. I want you to have, I wish everybody could have the attitude and the positive attitude about the complete opportunity you have every day to do with whatever you want with in real estate. I was reading an article a couple years ago about, and it's probably been 8 years ago or more, but it's probably even more true today, is that the decade before, so this is 8 years ago, so we're looking at, early 2000s, we'll say, but the decade before that, it was the biggest percentage of new millionaires in the United States. And it was just the biggest jump in the history of the United States of millionaires that were first generation immigrants to the United States, which means is that they came here from another country, most of them with very little or nothing, and became millionaires. They weren't born here. Their parents weren't here first. That gave them the opportunity. They didn't start here as a baby and got into our education system. They came here sometime from being born somewhere else and came here and became millionaires. And it was the biggest jump in history of the United States. Now, think of this. There's been other times in our country's history, 100 years ago or more, when we had more of an influx of more people, more people, I'm gonna say, a bigger percentage of people coming in from other countries, a much larger number of people. Even all my grandparents came from Italy, so I'm all Italian. But if you talk to my family, I'm 3/4 Sicilian and 1/4 Italian. So there's a big difference over there. But the point being is, this is the first time that people came here and became millionaires. Obviously, my grandparents didn't become millionaires when they came here. They survived, and they did probably a lot better than they did from where they come from. That's why they made the trip here. But people came here and became millionaires. The point I'm getting at, what I got from that article, and they dug on it a little bit, and they explained a little bit that the people, when they were interviewing them, wherever they came from, they just were so grateful for the opportunity to be able to become a millionaire from wherever they came from, because wherever they came from, they did not have that opportunity to. And they did it because I think they were so, and the way I took the article and what it still sticks with me today is that they had that daily being, just waking up with a great attitude, being grateful, because having a great attitude and being grateful is a great start to having a successful day, a successful career, whatever you're going with that. And if you start off with a great attitude and having an opportunity and being grateful, you could take that wherever you want from there. And they took it into something that earned them more money. Now, that's what I wish for all of you, for everybody in real estate. Anybody out there that's listening to this or in real estate has the opportunity to become a millionaire. Well, just say minimum making that. Now, let me put it this way. Of course, in Ohio, in certain areas, because of our price ranges, the amount of houses you have to sell is a lot more than other places. Yes, it's a little easier. Well, let's say easier when you're making more money per sale in certain areas. But let me give you an idea. There are more, but there's competition. In Orange County or Los Angeles County, the county, I believe it's Orange County. I remember I have a broker friend out there. They have more agents, licensed agents, just in the county of Los Angeles, the surrounding county that Los Angeles is in, than all of Ohio. Just that one county is more realtors than all of Ohio. So we do have lower prices here, but it's not, I mean, even though we think, oh my God, there's so many competition. Oh, I could tell you certain areas, Florida, oh my gosh. If you go into Florida, there's probably between Miami and Orlando, just those two cities definitely have probably double the amount of realtors than all of Ohio. Definitely. So what I mean by this is that you might have more opportunity here, but the prices and the commissions are not as great. So to get back to the opportunity though, but the opportunity is there. There are agents in Ohio, Northeast Ohio, Columbus, Cincinnati that are making over $1 million a year. Obviously, they probably have a team of agents working underneath them. They're, let's say they're minimum, they're grossing over $1 million. But we'll just even cut that in half, $500,000 a year. So it's very easy for agents. I could definitely say this. It's very possible to be an agent in Ohio and earn over $500,000 a year in real estate at your own pace, make your own schedule, have people underneath you, have assistants and things, and delegate. You can do it. Also, I mean, I'm just saying what's definitely 100% easy possible, we'll just say, but you could do even more. There's agents that could do well over that, because if they think outside the box, you could really branch off and get your license in other states. You can get referrals from other states. You don't have to do just the business here. There's now starting to be more teams, more agents getting licensed in other states and trying to duplicate what they're doing here. You don't have to be in your zone. You get licensed, and I have agents that have licenses in Florida and California and doing both markets, and you can do that. So the opportunity is not just around the people that you could drive in your car and the houses in your area and the market around you. So you could be in the middle of a rural area and there's 2 miles between each house in Ohio and still sell real estate and do very, very well. Because I sometimes talk to agents, well, I live in this county or this city, and we really have a small community. I go, well, if you just want to stay in that little community, you're going to have limited options. But why don't you go to this community, that community? You could open up shop, so to say, anywhere you want. You're licensed in Ohio. You don't have to go there. Just start marketing there, talking to some people. You're in there, and we could help you with that. So I don't want to go more in detail about that, but stick with your attitude with that. But the last thing I want to leave with you today, again, is really hitting this home, is that if you wake up every morning and you're grateful for the opportunity, which I do every day, I do, no matter what mood I'm in, or start the mood or end the mood, I wake up every day feeling grateful. I'm so happy. You know, I've been doing this 30 years right out of college. I don't know anything else because I never wanted to learn any other career, because I love this one so much. It's just the opportunity. And every day is like what we could do with this, and everything that I could do to help our agents and help them grow and them get more business. That's why I love doing these videos. Is such a joy to me to do. I want you to have that joy too. And remember, I'm here to help you through those tough times of when those tough deals. So if you need an attitude check, a little pick me up, it could be as small as a text message. It could be, hey, Tony, and I get these a couple times a month. Hey, Tony, I just need 1 minute of your time. Just 1 minute, just in between calls. Give me 60 seconds. I just need, a quick advice or pick me up on how to handle this situation. So if you ever need me, again, my days, every half hour on the half hour, I have calls. I just schedule myself that way and try to get in between. So if you ever need anything and you need a little pick me up, really, sincerely, just you text me. I need a little pick me up, 1 minute at your time. Then I know it's just a pick me up. And I know if I get off a call 5 minutes early, 3 minutes early, I could give you a quick call. I go, come on. The attitude, you're good, you got it, you know it, you have the tools, you have the talent, you have the opportunity, you have the belief in yourself, the belief in the industry, you can make this happen. I'll say something to that effect because I 100% believe it to the core, and get you motivated for that next call, if that helps. So that's it for today. We're about 40 minutes in. I really do appreciate your time and watching this today. And remember, use me as a resource, call, text, email me anytime. We'll go over this and more in detail. And we have another one noon on Friday before the weekend. And I, again, appreciate your time. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. Bye-bye.